Did you know that over 5 million people in the UK now live in areas at high risk of flooding? Or that violent crime has surged by more than 20% in some cities in just 1 year? The UK, once seen as safe and stable, is facing threats that are growing faster than most people realise. From rising sea levels swallowing coastlines to digital attacks that strike while we sleep, danger is creeping closer to home. And the scariest part? Most people don't even know they're at risk. In this video, we're breaking down the top 10 UK cities that are no longer safe, backed by real research, and revealing what you can do to protect yourself. You'll want to stay till the very end. Number 1. Birmingham. Imagine walking home after dark in a city where crime isn't just a headline, it's part of daily life. In Birmingham, with over 1.15 million residents, stark contrasts exist side by side. Affluent suburbs and pockets of intense deprivation. A shocking 40% of Birmingham neighbourhoods fall among the 10% most deprived in England. A breeding ground for social issues like crime and poverty. Studies show areas with high deprivation experience up to 35% higher crime rates than the regional average. Let's talk numbers. Birmingham's overall crime rate is about 136 crimes per 1,000 residents, a staggering 57% above the UK average. Even more alarming, violent crime accounts for 40% of offences. At 157%, the national average possession of weapons crimes are 311% above the national average, placing Birmingham second out of 99 cities in this category. Knife crime in the West Midlands is at 178 offences per 100,000 residents, the highest rate in England and Wales. In deprived areas like Perry Barr, where unemployment soared to over 12,800 jobless residents, shoplifting gangs and organised theft have become terrifyingly common. What you can do: stay alert and prepared. Use police apps and local news to track high-risk areas and times. Community action. Volunteer for youth mentoring or support job training programs, addressing root causes like poverty and idle time. Self-protection. Consider basic self-defense training, especially if traveling late. Home security. Install good lighting, secure locks, and maybe a camera. Deterrents that can make a real difference. Birmingham's challenges aren't inevitable. They're a symptom of deep inequality and social neglect. But with community engagement, smart awareness, and shared responsibility, we can begin to shift the tide in this vibrant yet vulnerable city. Number 2. London. Imagine walking beneath the bright lights of Trafalgar Square or the buzz of Oxford Street, and knowing at any moment tragedy could strike. London isn't just the UK capital of culture and commerce. It's also the nation's primary terrorism target, with the official threat level still set at substantial, meaning an attack is likely. Remember the 2017 Westminster Bridge attack? 6 people killed, dozens injured, or the Parsons Green Tube bombing, where 30 commuters were burned and dozens hospitalised. These events are not distant memories. They serve as stark reminders that London remains a high-risk zone, especially in crowded tourist hubs and public transport hubs. Things have only evolved. Just this year, MI5 and counter-terrorism authorities arrested several Iranian nationals suspected of plotting an attack in London. This follows a worrying 2025 report showing terrorism-related arrests have hit a 5-year high. 248 people arrested last year, including 71 under the age of 21, driven by threats from hostile states like Iran, Russia, and China. But the threats aren't just physical. The city's critical infrastructure, public transport, hospitals, energy grids, is a magnet for cyber-enabled terrorism. Just last year, a teen hacker hit TfL's Oyster card system, compromising thousands of users. In southeast London, ransomware and malware took down NHS appointments, delaying over 10,000 outpatient visits. What you can do in London: stay aware. Memorize the run, hide, tell steps for emergencies, especially in busy spots like Westminster or the Underground. Report unusual behaviour. Always flag suspicious activity, especially unattended bags or strange online postings. Go digital safe. Use strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, and keep your apps and devices updated. Have an exit plan. In crowded areas, note the nearest exits and alternate routes, even on everyday commutes. London pulses with life, hope, and diversity, but it also encounters evolving threats. Your vigilance and preparedness can make a real difference in staying safe in the city that never sleeps. Number 3. Leeds. Imagine a city where streets suddenly roar with river water, while dark alleyways echo with nightly violence. Leeds, West Yorkshire's crown, carries risk on multiple fronts, and it's far from just a picturesque city. Floods on the rise. Leeds has seen winter rivers spill over more often, and summer downpours triggering flash floods, due to hardened ground unable to absorb water. Its landmark Leeds Flood Alleviation Scheme, including movable weirs at Crown Point and Nostrop, now protects 3,000 homes and 500 businesses, but winter storms and surface water floods still loom. Crime in the city. Leeds' crime rate was 150 per residents in 2023, about 17% above West Yorkshire's average and 73% above the England-Wales NI rate. Hotspots like Duncan Street, infamous for nightlife-related violence, see nearly one crime per day. Even suburban Hare Hills has faced riots sparked by social tension and youth discontent. Digital threats spreading. It's not just physical dangers. Leeds businesses are increasingly hit by ransomware or data attacks. Across the UK, over 27% of companies suffered cyber attacks in the past year. Leeds United even had fan payment details compromised after a breach in February. What you can do in Leeds. Flood readiness. Sign up for flood alerts, seal basements, elevate sockets, and know emergency evacuation routes. Crime awareness. Avoid known hotspots late at night. Travel in groups. Use local crime mapping apps. Cyber safety. Use strong unique passwords. Enable two-factor authentication. Update devices and business systems. Leeds is a city with a huge heart, but also growing threats. Understanding them is the first step to staying safe where you live, work, and play. We poured our hearts into revealing these truths, so if this helped you see your city in a new light, please subscribe with just one click, share your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going. Number 4. Manchester. Imagine navigating the busy streets of Manchester, the sun beating down relentlessly while storm clouds gather overhead, and knowing that both extreme heat and flash floods could disrupt your day. This vibrant city is facing an intensifying climate challenge. Scorching summers on the rise. Manchester's summers are heating up. 1/3 of the city now experiences urban heat island effects, where concrete traps heat and makes downtown areas significantly warmer than suburbs. And when temperatures exceed 25 degrees Celsius, heat-related illness becomes a serious concern. Just this summer, an amber heat health alert was issued across northern England, including Manchester, as temperatures surge past 30 degrees C. These heatwaves aren't just uncomfortable, they're deadly, with UK models predicting thousands of heat-related deaths annually by the 2050s. Flash flood risk in the city soar. Heavy winter rains and impermeable surfaces have left Manchester dangerously prone to flooding. After severe rains in January 2025, Greater Manchester Police declared a major incident, evacuating nearly 1,000 people as rivers overflowed. And although older infrastructure isn't designed for today's deluge, forecasts warn that an estimated 19,600 residents in Manchester are currently at risk from local flooding infrastructure on the EDGE climate projections list of Manchester among UK cities with high risk to its infrastructure. Water systems, transport, and energy grids all vulnerable to cascading failures under extreme conditions. What you can do in Manchester beat the heat. Stay hydrated. Seek shade during peak sun hours. Check on vulnerable neighbours. Prepare for floods. Sign up for Environment Agency alerts. Seal basements. Elevate valuable items. Stay informed. Keep an eye on local emergency warnings. Met Office amber alerts mean real danger. Manchester is a thriving hub, but beneath its energy lies a growing threat from climate extremes. Awareness, preparation, and community action can turn risk into resilience. Number 5. Liverpool. Picture Liverpool's historic docks under sudden water surges, streetlights flickering as crime creeps in, and even celebrations turn tragic. This port city's vibrancy masks a trio of serious threats: surface flooding, elevated crime rates, and public safety dangers. Flooding, a hidden danger. Liverpool ranks 4th in the country for surface water flood risk, largely due to aging infrastructure and dense urban build-up. In 2023, torrential rain caused flash floods under a railway bridge on Queen's Road, stranding cars and sadly leading to 2 fatalities. Overall, about 3,557 people, roughly 0.6% of the population, are at high risk from river and sea flooding, with nearly 3,900 more in lower risk zones. Crime on the rise. Liverpool's crime profile is troubling. The city saw 135 crimes per 1,000 residents in 2023, 26% higher than the Merseyside average and 55% above the national level. Violent crimes account for around 44 per 1,000 workers, 126% above the England and Wales average. Public order incidents, like riots or disorder, are also elevated, at 11.8 per 1,000 people, which is 163% higher than the national rate. Public threats. When celebrations go wrong, even joyous events can turn dangerous. During the Liverpool FC parade on May 26, 25, a turnout of around 1 million people ended in tragedy when a car was deliberately driven into the crowd, causing over 109 injuries, including children. What you can do in Liverpool. Flood prevention. Sign up for EA alerts. Elevate electricals and install non-return valves. Stay streetwise. Avoid known trouble spots late at night, especially areas with high public order incidents. Be crowd conscious. In large events, identify exits, stick to trusted routes, and stay alert for unusual behavior. Community action. Engage in flood resilience programs or community patrols. 2 heads are always better than 1. Liverpool is a city of heart, soul, and resilience. But to live and celebrate safely, awareness is key. Recognizing these risks and taking proactive steps can help preserve both community spirit and your well-being. Number 6. Edinburgh. Imagine strolling down the Royal Mile, the crisp Scottish air filling your lungs, while unseen dangers lurk: surging rainwater beneath cobbled stones, opportunistic thieves in historic alleyways, and hackers targeting vital city services. Edinburgh, renowned for its beauty, faces a trio of serious risks: flooding, rising crime, and cyber insecurity. Flooding and storm risk. Scotland's capital has already seen annual rainfall increase by about 13% since the 1970s, and East Scotland, including Edinburgh, can expect 10% wetter winters by the 2050s. More rain means higher groundwater and surface water flooding, threatening city streets and iconic sites like Edinburgh Castle. Crime spiking. Despite its tourist-friendly reputation, Edinburgh saw 34,976 crimes in 2023 to 24, ranking it 7th most dangerous area in Scotland. Housebreakings hit 27 per 10,000 households, with a mere 18% clearance rate, a record low. Moreover, serious violent crimes in city centres have nearly doubled in a decade, with Edinburgh particularly impacted cyber threats on the rise. Scotland recorded 16,890 cybercrime incidents in 2023 to 24, a 13% increase year over year. Edinburgh's public services and small businesses are increasingly targeted, with phishing, ransomware, and data theft on the rise. What you can do in Edinburgh: prepare for floods, register for SEPA alerts, seal basements, avoid walking on waterlogged walkways, guard your home, invest in smart locks, door sensors, and neighbourhood watch engagement to deter burglars. Stay vigilant, avoid dimly lit alleys at night, keep valuables hidden in crowded tourist areas. Protect digitally, use secure, unique passwords, enable two-factor authentication, update devices, and treat suspicious emails with caution. Edinburgh's charm is timeless, but so are its evolving vulnerabilities. By staying alert and taking practical steps, you can continue to enjoy this historic city with confidence and safety. Number 7. Glasgow. Imagine the Clyde River overflowing onto crowded streets while invisible air pollution enters your lungs and pockets of the city struggle with high crime rates. Glasgow, once famed for its industrial prowess, now wrestles with a trio of growing threats: surface water flooding, air pollution, and localized crime spikes. Flood risk escalating. In the Glasgow City Council area, around 45,200 homes and businesses are currently vulnerable to surface water flooding, expected to rise to 57,000 by 2080 due to heavier rainfall trends from October to March, up to 42% more precipitation if climate emissions stay high. Air pollution and health. Although air quality has improved, Glasgow still ranks Scotland's most polluted city. Its average PM2.5 levels hover around 6 to 8 AQG-3, higher than neighbouring cities and causal in an estimated over 200 premature deaths annually. Certain streets, like Hope Street, repeatedly exceed safe NO2 limits. Crime. Uneven but alarming. Glasgow's overall crime rate is about 81 per 1,000 residents, but some areas face much higher levels. Anderston and York Hill top the list with 510 crimes per 1,000 people, predominantly theft, motor vehicle offences, and violent assaults, painting a varied safety picture across the city. What you can do in Glasgow. Flood preparedness. Check SEPA maps for your areas, keep waterproof seals, and raise flood-sensitive items in buildings. Breathe safer. On polluted days, limit outdoor time, use air purifiers, and support Glasgow's expanding low-emission zones. Stay streetwise. Be cautious in high-crime zones like Anderston, Govan, Southside Central. Avoid isolated areas at night. Travel in groups, and stay in well-lit areas. Community action and awareness. Join local clean air groups or neighbourhood watches to help build collective resilience. Glasgow is a vibrant city grappling with hidden risks, from rising floodwaters to invisible toxins and crime pockets. Awareness, preparation, and community spirit can help keep its pulse beating strong and its people safe. Number 8. Bristol. Imagine sitting by the Avon River, enjoying the view, and without warning, sidewalks turn into rivers, air fills with pollutants, and unseen threats compromise city systems. Bristol, a vibrant cultural hub, faces significant risks: surface water flooding, environmental pollution, and infrastructure strain. Flooding threat. Bristol sits amid over 100 miles of waterways, including the tidal River Avon, exposing it to surface water, fluvial, and tidal flooding. Despite ambitious defences like the Bristol Avon Flood Strategy and big projects at Avonmouth providing protection to 2,500 homes and businesses, extreme weather events remain a menace. Heavy downpours can overwhelm old sewer systems, turning roads into flood channels and threatening electricity, transport, and communications. Pollution and public health. Bristol may be green, but it's battling air and water pollution. Each week, an estimated 5 people die due to poor air quality, mostly from traffic emissions. In addition, the city is working to tackle pesticide runoff, microplastics, and pharmaceuticals that choke waterways like the floating harbour and River Avon. These hidden toxins threaten wildlife and human health alike. System vulnerabilities. The city's aging drainage and energy infrastructure is becoming brittle. Floods can and have disrupted power, sewerage, and transit systems. A single heavy storm could cascade failures across multiple services, leaving residents stranded and vulnerable. What you can do in Bristol. Prepare for floods. Sign up for Environment Agency alerts. Avoid flood-prone areas during downpours. Advocate for green infrastructure in your community. Limit pollution exposure. Swap to walking, cycling, or public transport. Reduce pesticide use in gardens. Support local waterway cleanup efforts. Boost resilience. Advocate for infrastructure upgrades like permeable pavements and sealed drains, and support civic efforts to modernise energy and sewage systems. Bristol's charm is undeniable, but so are its hidden dangers. With awareness and proactive steps, locals can help shield their city from floodwaters, smog, and service disruptions. Knowledge is the first line of defence. Number 9. Sheffield. Imagine walking through Sheffield's leafy suburbs or the valley's steep streets when sudden rain cascades down, air thick with damp, and people nearing exhaustion from growing crime and underground hazards. Sheffield, the Steel City, faces a trio of increasing risks: surface flooding, spiking crime, and ground instability. Flooding on the hillsides. Sheffield's unique setting, built into hillsides, makes it especially vulnerable to surface water flooding after heavy rain. The 2008 Strategic Flood Risk Assessment, now updated, shows many zones marked high or medium flood probability, and the council is mandated to assess and mitigate flood threats by 2027. Urban expansion and climate change only make it worse. 3.2% of properties, which has 10,500 homes, are at high flood risk from rivers or surface water today. Crime is above average. Sheffield's total crime rate sits around 118 to 121 crimes per 1,000 residents, which is roughly 114% of the national average. Violent crime makes up roughly 30 to 34% of all incidents, or about 53,100 reported cases last year, though it dipped slightly recently. Hotspots include the city centre with roughly 152 crimes per house, and neighbourhoods like Manor Castle, Burngreave, Firth Park, and Darnall, all known for elevated violence, public disorder, and burglary. Instability and hidden hazards. Sheffield's industrial heritage and underlying geology mean ground instability, old culverts, uncharted watercourses, and past mining could worsen flooding or cause sinkholes and new developments, and increased rainfall strain drainage systems, risking structural damage and unexpected subsidence. What you can do in Sheffield. Manage flood risk, sign up for Environment Agency alerts, check surface water maps, install flood barriers and waterproof basements. Stay safe at night, avoid high-crime hotspots after dark, move in groups, stay in well-lit areas and use crime mapping apps. Monitor your ground. In older houses, inspect foundations and drainage. Report sudden cracks or sinkings to your council. Get involved. Support Sheffield and Rotherham. Wildlife Trust's flood prevention and green infrastructure projects. Local collaboration can reduce flooding and crime alike. Sheffield is full of culture and nature, but beneath its charm lies hidden danger from floods, crime, and ground instability. With vigilance, proactive steps, and community initiative, residents can preserve the city's spirit while staying safe. Number 10. Cardiff. Imagine walking through Cardiff's bustling streets by day, only to be met by flash floods, public disorder at night, and the threat of gut-punching cyber attacks in your digital life. Cardiff, symbol of modern Wales, is quietly facing three serious risks: flood vulnerability, high crime rates, and cyber threats. Flooding and coastal erosion. Cardiff's vulnerability to flooding is concerning. Over 245,000 properties are at risk from surface water flooding, with nearly 400 also exposed to coastal erosion. Several areas in the south, e.g. Roath, Canton, Riverside, Grangetown, are among the highest flood risk zones in Wales. These are not future projections. These are immediate threats that require local vigilance and robust flood preparedness. Crime and public disorder. Cardiff's crime numbers paint a stark picture. Approximately 118 crimes per 1,000 residents, about 36% above national averages. Violence and public order offences are especially troubling, making up over 35% of total crime, with public disorder incidents 159% more frequent than the UK average, ranking Cardiff among the top 7 areas for disruptive behaviour. Nightlife zones and student-heavy inner-city neighbourhoods see particularly high incidents. Cybersecurity in the capital. On a tech front, Cardiff is pushing hard to boost digital defence. Cardiff University has partnered with industry leaders to strengthen cyber resilience across critical infrastructure, including transport and utilities. Despite this, businesses and public services remain common targets for phishing and disruption. The threat is real and growing. What you can do in Cardiff flood safety. Sign up for Welsh Government flood alerts, elevate vulnerable electronics, and keep a go bag ready. Street awareness. Avoid late-night trouble spots, stay in well-lit areas, and report suspicious behaviour right away. Cyber hygiene. Use strong, unique passwords, enable two-factor authentication, update your apps, and be cautious with unfamiliar emails or links. Cardiff is vibrant and forward-looking, but beneath its charm lie serious dangers, from floods and crime to digital threats. Awareness, preparation, and practical action can protect you and your city's future. Stay informed, stay resilient, and stay safe. Across the UK, from the coastal streets of Hull to the vibrant lanes of Cardiff, it's clear. Safety is no longer something we can take for granted. These 10 cities aren't just headlines, they're home to millions who face growing risks from flooding, crime, pollution, and cyber threats. The statistics are real, and the patterns are undeniable. Our once comfortable environments are shifting due to climate change, social inequality, and technological vulnerability. But knowledge is the first step to power. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but understanding the real dangers is how we start building resilience. These cities are not lost causes, they're communities worth protecting, and the good news, there are solutions within our reach, starting today, starting with you. While the threats facing these UK cities are serious, they are not unstoppable. Here's how individuals, communities, and governments can turn the tide. For individuals, stay informed. Use local police and weather alert apps like Flood Alert UK or Neighbourhood Watch to track crime and flood zones in real time. Prepare proactively. Install floodproofing features in your home, join a community watch group, and invest in basic cybersecurity like two-factor authentication. Change habits. Walk or cycle more to reduce air pollution. Secure your home with motion sensors or smart locks, and support local environmental efforts. For communities, build resilience together. Start local initiatives like tree planting, rain gardens, or neighbourhood patrols that make a real difference in preventing flooding and crime. Educate locally. Run awareness campaigns at schools and community centres to empower residents with practical knowledge. Collaborate across sectors. Partner with businesses, city councils, and universities to bring real change, especially around data security and infrastructure repair. For policymakers, invest in infrastructure, upgrade old drainage, enhance flood defences, and install sustainable energy grids in vulnerable areas. Address inequality. Tackle the roots of crime through education, social support, and economic opportunities in at-risk zones. Boost digital security. Protect public institutions from cyber attacks with stricter standards, training, and emergency response systems. If this video opened your eyes to the real risks facing your city, drop a comment. We'd love to hear where you're from and how safe you feel. Check out our previous video for more life-saving tips. Your support helps us keep going. Subscribe now. It's just one click, but it means the world to us. We put in hours of research so you don't have to. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.